In a fiery exchange that left audiences stunned, Big Homie CC took the stage on live television to confront Piers Morgan, delivering shocking truths that rattled the foundations of celebrity culture. What started as a casual conversation quickly escalated into an explosive clash between two heavyweights, as Big Homie CC didn't hold back, boldly calling out Piers and the entire entertainment industry. The tension in the room was palpable. With every word, CC tore into the dark underbelly of fame, challenging Piers to acknowledge the hidden realities of the celebrity world. CC didn't shy away from making bold claims, revealing insider secrets that many would rather keep behind closed doors. From manipulative power dynamics to disturbing party culture, Big Homie CC didn't mince words, leaving Piers Morgan speechless in his seat. This moment was more than just a televised debate, it was a revelation. CC's accusations struck at the heart of the celebrity industry, exposing a network of control, exploitation, and dangerous influence that has long been kept in the shadows. By confronting Piers Morgan, one of the most well-known figures in the industry, CC forced the public to face uncomfortable truths that have long been ignored. Big Homie CC's claims were not just wild accusations, they were grounded in years of experience and first-hand knowledge of the Hollywood scene. As the audience watched in disbelief, it became clear that the issues at hand were far deeper than just a personal feud. This was about a system that uses fame and power to manipulate, control, and exploit those who enter it. As Piers Morgan tried to deflect the conversation, CC's persistence only made the debate more intense. It became a battle of words, where CC's sharp insight into the entertainment industry's darkest corners was met with Piers' attempts to downplay and dismiss the accusations. But Big Homie CC wasn't backing down. The truth was out, and the world would have to reckon with it. This explosive clash wasn't just about one confrontation on live TV, it was a wake-up call. Celebrity culture, often seen as glamorous and untouchable, was now being exposed for what it truly is, a world built on manipulation, exploitation, and a constant thirst for power. And it all came to light when Big Homie CC decided to speak the truth, no matter the cost. Stay tuned as we dive deeper into this shocking revelation in the next chapter, where CC continues to pull back the curtain on Diddy's wild parties and the dark forces controlling them. Will the truth finally come to light, or will the entertainment world continue to keep its dirty secrets hidden? The controversy deepened as Big Homie CC pulled back the curtain on the chaos behind Diddy's infamous parties, a world so wild and reckless it left Piers Morgan in utter disbelief. What was once known as glamorous high society events were revealed to be breeding grounds for excess, exploitation, and the darker side of celebrity culture. CC didn't just paint a picture, he exposed the shocking details. According to him, Diddy's parties were a cirque of excess, where the rules of decorum didn't just bend, they were completely obliterated. Topless waitresses, dancers locked in cages, and even live exotic animal displays. CC's revelations took the public into a world few had dared to imagine, let alone speak about. The details he described were so outrageous that Piers Morgan's usual cool composure began to crack under the weight of CC's claims. But this wasn't just about the extravagant displays of wealth. Big Homie CC argued that these parties were more than just wild social gatherings, they were performative acts of control. The elite used these events to dominate and manipulate those around them. CC went so far as to claim that these parties weren't just about fun, they were about sending a message. Fame comes at a price, and the price is often your dignity. As Piers tried to dismiss the accusations as mere gossip, CC didn't hold back. He detailed how these parties were the perfect cover for bizarre rituals and power struggles, where those involved were coerced into strange acts under the guise of entertainment. The revelation that left the audience in shock? That these outrageous acts were part of a larger system of celebrity manipulation, where the more outrageous the spectacle, the more power one wielded. The tension was palpable as CC's words hung heavy in the air. He wasn't just calling out Diddy, he was calling out the entire entertainment machine. Diddy, the kingpin of a party culture built on excess, represented a much larger issue at play within Hollywood. The very same culture that romanticizes success was, in CC's view, corrupt to its core, using these lavish events as a distraction for more insidious power plays behind the scenes. By the time the segment ended, the reality of Diddy's parties was clear. These weren't just events where the rich and famous let loose. They were controlled chaos, built on manipulation, objectification, and the exploitation of those desperate for fame. But was this the full story? Could there be even darker secrets lurking beneath the surface? Stay tuned, because in the next chapter, Big Homie CC dives into the tragic fall of Craig Mack, a victim of this very culture that celebrates the rich and famous, but leaves behind a trail of destruction and heartbreak. The tension continued to rise as Big Homie CC dove deeper into the tragic tale of Craig Mack, revealing how the once promising rapper fell victim to the manipulative forces of Sean Diddy Combs and the dark side of the music industry. This was not just a story about a fallen star, it was a heartbreaking commentary on the cost of fame, the corruption of power, and the systemic exploitation of young artists in the world of celebrity. CC didn't sugarcoat it. He laid out how Diddy's influence twisted Mack's career and, ultimately, his life. Craig Mack, known for his hit single Flava in Ya Ear, was on the cusp of superstardom in the 1990s. But instead of rising to the top with Diddy's support, Mack's story turned into a tragedy of manipulation and control. According to CC, Mack was lured into a cult-like environment under Diddy's management, an environment where loyalty came at the cost of personal freedom and mental well-being. As Big Homie CC explained, the powerful mogul used his vast network and influence to keep Mack tied to him, blurring the lines between professional mentorship and personal manipulation. The illusion of success that Diddy presented to young artists wasn't just about money, it was about control. And Mack, like many others before him, became trapped in that cycle. But the most tragic aspect of Mack's story, as CC pointed out, wasn't just about his artistic downfall, it was about his descent into isolation. Mack, in his final years, became increasingly withdrawn, struggling with his mental health while battling substance abuse and personal demons. According to CC, it was the pressure of living under Diddy's thumb that pushed Mack into the arms of destructive habits. The final blow came when Mack tragically passed away from AIDS, a fate that many in the industry felt was tied directly to his years of exploitation and neglect. As CC shared this heartbreaking account, it became clear, Craig Mack was more than just a casualty of the entertainment industry. He was a victim of an exploitative system that chews up artists and spits them out when they're no longer useful. His story was a grim reminder of how the lust for power and control in Hollywood destroys lives, often, quietly and without consequence. Piers Morgan sat in stunned silence, his usual arrogance fading as CC's words cut through the facade. The implications of CC's revelations were profound. Mack's death wasn't just an individual tragedy, it was a symptom of a much larger problem within the celebrity machine. As the chapter came to a close, it was evident that the story of Craig Mack was just one example of the darker side of fame, a side that many in the industry would rather keep hidden. But as Big Homie CC continued to speak out, more and more truths were coming to light, and there was no going back. The next chapter promises even more shocking revelations, as CC begins to expose the darkest corners of Diddy's world, including dangerous parties, hidden manipulations, and allegations of abuse that would rock the entertainment industry to its core. Stay tuned, because the truth is only just beginning to unravel. The facade of Hollywood's glamorous lifestyle began to crumble even further as Big Homie CC exposed the dangerous infections and manipulative power structures that thrive within the world of celebrity culture. This was a world far darker than what the public sees on the red carpet, a place where the glitter and glamour cover up a toxic environment of exploitation and control. In this explosive chapter, CC pulled no punches as he recounted the disturbing realities of Diddy's notorious parties, a breeding ground for power struggles and hidden agendas. According to CC, the parties were not only marked by excessive behavior and reckless abandon, but they were also infested with the spread of dangerous infections. These were not just partygoers letting loose, they were trapped in a toxic ecosystem where unchecked indulgence and a culture of silence kept dangerous diseases and behaviors circulating among the elite. For those at the top of the celebrity food chain, CC explained, it was all part of the game. The more outrageous and reckless the party, the more control those in charge held over their guests. Hollywood's power brokers used these events to manipulate, blackmail, and control those desperate to climb the ranks of fame. CC didn't mince words. These parties weren't about having fun, they were about creating a culture of submission, where the price for fame wasn't just your dignity, but your health and well-being. Piers Morgan's skepticism was evident as he tried to dismiss CC's claims, but the evidence was irrefutable. Big Homie CC revealed how people in power used blackmail to keep others silent, knowing that anyone with secrets, from health issues to personal misdeeds, was a tool to be manipulated. The culture of "do what we say, or we'll expose you" was rampant within the industry, creating a dangerous cycle of control that kept the A-list stars in line. The cost. Their autonomy, their privacy, and their personal integrity. The most shocking revelation came when CC detailed how young stars, those trying to make a name for themselves, were often targeted. They were the most vulnerable, coerced into compromising situations where their personal and professional futures were at the mercy of those who held all the cards. Fame, it seemed, came with strings attached, and those strings were often pulled by those in power, keeping everyone in check through fear and exploitation. As the conversation grew more intense, the deeper truth behind these manipulations became clear. Hollywood wasn't just a place of dreams, it was a machine that chewed up its stars and left them broken and discarded. The world of excess wasn't about living a life of luxury, it was about making people complicit in their own degradation, forcing them into a cycle they couldn't escape. Piers, visibly shaken by the raw honesty of CC's revelations, had no choice but to acknowledge the disturbing truth that had been laid bare. This wasn't just gossip, this was a systemic issue that ran deep within the very fabric of celebrity culture. As the episode came to an end, it was clear that the world of fame was far more corrupt and dangerous than anyone could have imagined. And as Big Homie CC's story unraveled, it became more evident that the dark side of celebrity culture was something the public needed to wake up to, and the entertainment industry needed to reckon with. But the story doesn't end here. In the next chapter, CC goes even deeper, revealing the horrific ways Diddy's parties were used to exploit young talent, using them as pawns in a game of power and control. What other secrets will be uncovered? Stay tuned, because the truth is about to get even darker. The curtains were pulled back even further in the explosive final chapter as Big Homie CC made the most disturbing revelation yet. Diddy's parties weren't just about excess and indulgence, they were breeding grounds for a culture of exploitation, abuse, and manipulation, with shocking allegations that left the audience gasping. The story went from wild rumors to cold, hard truth as CC took the world inside Diddy's infamous parties, exposing what many had whispered about but were too afraid to confront. It wasn't just the reckless behavior or the dangerous, uncontrolled environments, it was the dehumanizing treatment of vulnerable individuals, particularly young women and men. According to Big Homie CC, Diddy's parties were designed to be controlled chaos, where celebrities and influencers used their status not for fun, but for power and dominance over those hoping to break into the industry. But the most shocking revelation came when CC spoke about the disturbing allegations involving children, yes, children, being treated as party favors at these events. The term party favors might seem lighthearted, but the reality, as described by CC, was anything but. Young individuals were allegedly coerced into participating in these events, often in ways that stripped them of their dignity and humanity. Diddy, a figure revered by millions, was allegedly the mastermind behind this twisted culture, where young people were used as pawns in a dangerous game of fame and control. As Piers Morgan sat across from Big Homie CC, there was a moment of eerie silence, as the audience absorbed the gravity of the claims. CC went on to explain that the culture at these parties wasn't just about the immediate thrill, it was about conditioning those involved to believe that fame and success came at the expense of their own self-respect and morals. The more wild and dangerous the party, the more valuable and powerful those in charge became. It was a twisted cycle that left everyone in the room feeling vulnerable, trapped, and manipulated. But why? Why would someone as successful as Diddy need to create this kind of environment? According to CC, it was all about maintaining control, not just over the artists and influencers, but over the entire narrative of success. By creating these situations where people felt they owed their success to him, Diddy and others in the industry tightened their grip on the very fabric of celebrity culture, making it impossible for anyone to break free from the toxic dynamics they had created. As the chapter came to a close, it became crystal clear. Hollywood, and the entertainment industry at large, had long been built on a system of manipulation, exploitation, and control. Diddy's dangerous party culture wasn't just an isolated incident. It was a reflection of an industry that thrives on power plays, hidden agendas, and the marginalization of the vulnerable. This chapter marked a turning point. Big Homie CC had not only exposed the truth, he had opened the door for a much-needed conversation about the deep-seated issues within the entertainment industry. This wasn't just about one man or one party, it was about an entire culture that needed to be reformed and accountable for the lives it has destroyed along the way. The question remains, will Hollywood ever reckon with the truth? Will the industry begin to confront the toxic culture that has plagued it for years? Or will the cycle continue, hiding behind the glittering surface of fame? Stay tuned, because the fight for the truth has only just begun.